early learning education. And I would have federal programs that would be partners with local communities. We wouldn't take over the policy in schools, but instead of having No Child Left Behind and the 7% contribution from the federal government to state education, we would have partnerships. And finally, here's my plan for kids going to college. What happens today to kids going to college? Taking them 12 years to pay off their loans. I'm devising a plan that says this. We will partially pay off your loans if you do one thing for this country. Would you do 1 year of national service for America? Either go in the military or work in a hospital or do something that involves VISTA and America, clean up a forest, something that is good for this country. Do we have any college-age students here that are paying off loans? Not members of my staff. You guys are. Would you accept my plan?
Absolutely.
1 year of national service, pay off a chunk of your loans? All right. This is what I'm going to announce soon, but I think we got to be creative in our educational system. So, education. Issue number 3, the economy. You know, all I want is an economy where America's middle class says, this president and this economy is finally working for me. Because you take America's middle class, uncertainty over pensions, uncertainty over jobs going overseas, uncertainty about healthcare costs that are much too high, about wages that are not keeping up with inflation. And the first step has to be, I think, having a new partnership that will create good jobs. What I did in New Mexico was we got the 6th fastest growing economy in the country. And what we said to the private sector is this. If you, Company X, come into the private sector, and you're a company that we want, like the solar, wind company, biofuels company, movie company, we'll give you a tax incentive. If you pay over the prevailing wage, if you pay good wages, we'll give you another tax incentive. If you train our people, I think we need a policy that says to the emerging industries in America, whether it's science and technology and high tech and biofuels, biodiesel, making America green, we should give them incentives to create the higher paying jobs. We also have to do something with the federal debt. It is $9 trillion. You're looking at a governor who could be impeached if he doesn't have a balanced budget. Something I don't look forward to. That's supposed to be fun. Anyway, you know, I balanced my budgets. You balance your budget in the House, $9 trillion debt. It's to Japan. It's a commercial bank. It's to China. We got to get under that. And I believe that balancing the budget grows the economy. Look what happened in the Clinton years. 20 million new jobs. We put some of the surplus money into Social Security. We need to return to that. And we can't have trade agreements that ship our jobs overseas. That's what exists today. There's a runaway tax credit that is an incentive for companies in certain sectors to move their jobs overseas. That has to stop. And we need to have an economy where at least America's middle class says, you know, it's working for me. It's not just Wall Street. It's not just the stock market. Healthcare, universal healthcare. Look, all the candidates want to make sure it happens. So do I. Here's my fundamental theory on universal healthcare. No matter who you are, whether you're a CEO of this wine company, whether you're a ditch digger, whether you work in a hotel and you're a maid, whether you're black, brown, yellow, white, whatever you are, I believe that every American is entitled to the best possible health. But what we need to do is look at the healthcare system, a bloated bureaucracy today that is about $2.2 trillion. That's what we spend on healthcare. $2.2 trillion, 20% of our GDP. Canada, others spend a lot less and they cover everybody. Yet in America, we're at 45 million uninsured, 17 million underinsured, 4,000 that lose their health care every day, whatever, with pre-existing condition. We have a healthcare system that demands immediate action. It's a moral imperative. The first thing I would do is I would take that 31% that goes into administration and bureaucracy. In other words, $2.2 trillion. 31% is administration, bureaucracy, lack of electronic records, HMO bureaucracy, insurance company bureaucracy, profits. That 31% has to go to direct care. And if we have an electronic system of records, we save $81 billion. What else would I do with our health? You know who the best plan in the world is? It's the Congress. The members of Congress. Who's your congressman, by the way? Steve King. Oh, he's the one that wants to get me deported. Immigration, too. Yeah, I didn't know that was your congressman. And I'm sure you'll ask me about immigration. I'll answer. But the point that I'm making here is that everyone should be eligible for participating in investment plans, the congressional. I would do that. Small businesses, individuals. Second, Medicare. Medicare today is for 65 and over. Under my plan, you go down to 55 and over. It increases the ability for those to participate. Number three, let's have a division of responsibilities. The states handle Medicaid. The federal government should handle Medicare. But there's so much turf in between that if you have a clear division of responsibility, where, for instance, the states take care of kids and S-chip programs and working families, and the federal government takes care of seniors and prescription drugs and the disabled, you have clear responsibility. Here's another plan that I have for our veterans. You know, our vets come back from Afghanistan, Iraq, even Vietnam, and mental health is not given the priority it deserves, not just in the VA healthcare system, but in our country. And 1 out of 4 Americans, if you include depression, has a mental health problem. So we need to find ways not just to guarantee coverage in the VA system, which is a good system, but it's understaffed, they don't have enough resources. Here's what I would do with my VA plan. You take any veteran here, and today you have to get your health care at the nearest VA hospital. What is that? Would that be Des Moines?
Des Moines.
Des Moines. How far is that?
About 45 miles.
45. Well, that's not bad. You know, there are a lot of vets that have to go 100, 150 miles. Under my plan, from now on, if it passes, you give every veteran a hero's health card. And you know where they can get their health care? Anywhere they want. Right here in Osceola. We also have to emphasize prevention. We have to emphasize kids. Start early. It's not only in America. But what does that mean? That means that you start doing what we were able to do in New Mexico. It makes a lot of sense. You get rid of junk food in schools very early. You have healthy breakfast for every child. Make that available in our schools. You have mandatory physical education. You know, we got rid of that. You have smoking bans across the board, statewide smoking bans. You also push and give incentives to companies that let their workers work out or become healthier. We do more research on science, on cancer, on Alzheimer's, on stem cell research to find an answer to these cures. You know, I just was recently in a debate, one of the 90,000 debates where I finally got recognized with a cyclist, Lance Armstrong. And I pointed out there that we spend per country, nationally, $6 billion on cancer research. $6 billion. Proportionately very low compared to other nations. That's 2 weeks of the Iraq War. I mean, talk about the misguided priorities in our country. So we need to pursue a healthcare plan that deals with prevention, but also deals with fixing some of the existing problems. And putting cost controls on the insurance companies. Under my plan, 85% of what they do has to go to direct care instead of their own profits and overhead. The same with the HMOs. I want to talk about energy, and then I want to conclude. Energy. You know, I was Secretary of Energy. California and New Mexico compete as to who has the most clean energy initiatives. So there's a competition with the governor of California and myself. And when we're together in the same room and we're saying, all right, who's done the most for clean energy? California and New Mexico. I let him win because he's bigger than me. But when he's not with me, New Mexico is the winner. Because what we've done in our state is give incentives to solar, wind, and biomass. We've mandated that 20% of our energy be from renewable sources, from the electric. And here what